Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Coffee Break, and I am back bringing you another night of Amateur Attack. Today is Thursday, and I'm going to be bringing you our first TvZ of the night, which is my worst casting matchup. In the left corner here on MLG Antigua Shipyard, we will have our Terran Titan T spawning as the green Terran player. And up here in the upper right corner, we will have AciesSpawn, who we have seen a few games from, spawning as the red Zerg player. He is really good. that is the best I can say about him, is that he is just really, really good. We saw that he was able to handily take out AciesPure in that last game. AciesPure actually did end up lagging out of that game. However, the game was fairly much won by Spawn. He had the vastly superior army composition and the like. So it'll be interesting to see what Spawn's TvZ style is going to be. TvZ, obviously, there's definitely your basic build for Terran. Pretty much, Ben Wilson, if you're in the chat, please stop calling Tyler. Please stop calling him. Terrans obviously very commonly do that marine tank play that is oh so popular, coming all the way from the Brood War days. I am losing my words. Coming all the way from the Brood War days, that is by far the most popular. Mech play is becoming a little bit more standard. I wouldn't say it's quite there yet to the point where it's used often, and I'm talking mech past that Hellion. Hellion into tank marine. I'm talking, marine, not marine, I'm talking Hellion tank Thor kind of play, which it does exist. It is extraordinarily difficult to do, however. And for Zergs, a lot of the time you'll see Mutalisks to kill the tanks, and Zergling Baneling to clean up the marines. I mean, it's a very logical, I think logical is the right word, a very logical matchup where it's just, you do this, bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, everything is kind of a sequence. Kind of a dance. We do have 2 racks coming out from T here. I doubt we will be seeing any bunker pressure, as A, there is no expansion, and B, this is a fairly big map to be walking across. A fairly big map. Overlord getting into position for scouting later on in this matchup. Nothing too unstandard there. We do have metabolic boost coming out, and immediately afterward, the drones are pulled from gas. And T's SCV is cleared up, and now Spawn is capable of doing whatever he wants because T will be in the dark about it. We do have the expansion going down. That would have been my best guess as to what would happen in this build. Expansion going down. Zerglings moving out. These Zerglings will just be taking map control. They will not be able to do any sort of damage. There are 5 Marines out already. A lot of Marines being produced. I wonder if we're going to be seeing something akin to an MKP style of play, where you get a lot of Marines, and just like this, you get a quick command center. You do not need gas, you just need Marines and a command center, and you are good to go. A lot of the time you will see a little bit of pressure with these Marines, but nothing too committed. A lot of the time the Marines will back up before anything really happens, so just kind of poke and see what's going on, mainly to see the army composition. AciesSpawn is not going to be able to really get too much information out of this. All he's going to be able to see is that there is no add-on on this barracks. That doesn't really tell you all that much. It tells you, I was actually watching a Day 9 earlier, and I liked what he was talking about, in the fact that when you scout your opponent, you're not looking for what necessarily they are specifically doing in the early game. You're looking for what they cannot be doing. AciesSpawn sees there is no reactor on this, therefore T almost cannot be doing reactor Hellions. Unless he has a reactor buried somewhere in his base, T cannot be going reactor Hellions. We do see a Baneling nest on the way. I doubt we will be seeing a Baneling bus, as that would be a little bit all-in-ish. But a Baneling nest obviously will be very, very powerful versus these Marines, especially because the Marines do not have stim on the way, and they do not have it now, which is very, very essential for Baneling dodging. Both gases now being taken, and we have 4 command centers on the field now. They're not all done, obviously. 4 command centers, and the scout of that does go off. And AciesSpawn has got to be scratching his head a little bit, just like I am. T might be going for some ultra macro build where he just gets as many mules as possible and tries to work off of that. Now, AciesSpawn is on 2 base right now. T obviously still on 1 base, forming actually a bit of a T with his command centers, as you can see on the mini-map right there. Kind of amusing. We do have 2 orbital commands, a 3rd orbital command on the way, and a 4th command center just about to finish up. And T, I guess, really has nothing to lose in this matchup. He has nothing to lose, nothing to gain. A tech lab now finished up, and a reactor going down on another barracks. And I would expect to see stim pack coming out of this. Combat shields, maybe, but I think stim is more likely. Especially because T's got to know that there's going to be a baneling nest on the field with all these emergencies he's making. And AciesSpawn, knowing that there are so many command centers, takes a 3rd and drops double Evo chamber, as he knows that nothing can come over to hurt him for a little while yet. Now there is 1 command center here floating down to the 2nd base. A lot of Marines. A lot of Marines. We do have all 4 command centers finished up now, and all are turned into orbital commands. He's going to be mining out his main base so quickly. He's going to have ridiculous amounts of mule power, and I think that this is the idea behind this build. This is very interesting. T always bringing us something new to the table. If it's against Protoss, we're seeing Thors. If it's against Zerg, we're seeing 4 command centers before the 9-minute mark. Those were probably, this 4th orbital command was probably done around the 8 to 8:30 mark. And I can sufficiently say I have never before seen this in my life. AciesSpawn's scouting for that 3rd base, but it is not going to be there, as once again these are all just sitting inside the main base. We do have a Hellion on the way, and there is a tech lab on this reactor. Tech lab on the reactor, yes, that would be very overpowered. There's a tech lab down on this factory, so we will more likely than not be seeing siege tank play. AciesSpawn, I apologize. AciesSpawn falling behind a bit in his macro. He got supply blocked for a bit there. Has a lot of banked resources. T, on the other hand, keeping up very well. You can actually tell that this build is rather refined by T, and I am very impressed by this play. Few Zerglings in the center just for control. Nothing else much to report. A lot of Zerglings being made, as well as burrow, pneumatized carapace, and centrifugal hooks. The centrifugal hooks is at baneling speed. Pneumatized carapace is that overlord movement. And an infestation pit is on the way. So finally, we do know what tech AciesSpawn is looking to go. I do like that follow-up because he has scouted that there is a lot of biological units. He has scouted earlier on that there were these 2 barracks here. I am sure that he has seen since that it's pretty much just a giant ball of Marines and Marauders. I don't exactly know why there is a single Hellion in this mixture. 1 Hellion just doesn't seem like it would do all that much on its own. We do have a siege tank coming on the way now. 10 banelings being morphed in. Where is that? In the middle of the map. So it looks like AciesSpawn is going to look to do a little bit of pressure fairly shortly here. Another barracks being dropped. 1 siege tank is out, as well as a single medevac. But neither player really looking to be aggressive so far. We do have +1 armor on the way for our Terran player. No upgrades as of yet, I believe. We do have 1-1 on the field for our Zerg player, and a Marine does get taken out by a baneling there. So 1 baneling dies worthlessly, and T knows that there are banelings and Zerglings in the middle of the map. He does make a Banshee in response. Now, I like this Banshee play. I don't know if he'll be getting cloaking or not. Of all the games I've seen T play, I have not yet seen him get cloaking. So a lot of the time he just likes to get that single Banshee. Might go into Raven play afterward. I don't know. We do have 6 infestors on the way, which will finish up just after that pathogen gland is able to finish up. A lot of Zerglings coming out of the field too. It looks like he's just looking. AciesSpawn is looking to do Zergling Infestor, just to get some get the surround on the army, get some fungals off, and that Terran army would melt instantly. Now this Hellion does go ahead of the rest of the army, does see everything in the middle here, and AciesSpawn looks a little bit indecisive as to what he wants to do, and T is willing to just kind of sit down here and not do much. Now going up, seeing that the Zerg army has retreated, moves his entire army up. Siege Tech not done yet. I wonder if that may have been a blunder, is just now being started. That seems a little bit late for that tech, considering how what the timing of that tech lab was brought down on. This Marine has got to be the most unlucky Marine in the world. He is sent to scout ahead and see what's going on. He sees that AciesSpawn is taking this gold base here. which is a very good move by AciesSpawn. He has map control. He actually controls his entire corner of the map here. That is very, very good play by AciesSpawn. And T now taking this third base up here, not getting any mining done yet. We have a fusion core on the way for T. Where is the fusion core? Where are you being built? There it is. The fusion core is now on the way. That is a building I can say that I may have only seen 2 or 3 times ever in ladder play. In all honesty, that is such rare play coming out of T, and this is why I love casting his games, just because he always has something new for us. We do have 6 more infestors on the way. That will give us a total of 15 infestors, and that is a lot for those of you who don't know. A sensor tower, there's another building that kind of goes in and out of fashion. I do not know where that is planted down, but we will know as soon as it goes up. We do have a scan going down to see what's going on in the middle. There is nothing going on in the middle. There's our sensor tower over here at this base. And now it looks like T is looking to do a little bit of aggression. He does get the siege tank seized up, and a beautiful fungal growth by AciesSpawn catches almost the entirety of the army, and now the rest of the army is being melted by Zergling Baneling. Every single last biological unit falls, and so do the 2 or 3 tanks that were there. And even if he had wanted to, he could have fungled, AciesSpawn could have fungled these 3 medevacs and that Banshee and taking those out as well. What a beautiful engagement by AciesSpawn, definitely coming out ahead in that battle. It's now 4,400 to 2,800 resources lost in favor of our Zerg player, 82 to 69 harvesters. So very good economy going on by both of our players. T really falling behind in that engagement, could probably use to drop some more production facilities, as he is on 3 base and has ridiculous amounts of minerals. All he needs to do is just pump Marines out, and that would be a great way to boost his supply count a little bit. Now AciesSpawn should have an idea that this base is over here because of this sensor tower. Kind of a bad location to plant that down, I feel. But what's done is done. Both players can see this dotted line on their mini-map. So AciesSpawn knows where he can and cannot step. And T is going to know about these infestors pushing around, and he scans there, sees them. And sensor towers show that there are burrowed units, it just does not reveal them. A battlecruiser is now on the way, and it looks like T wants to take out some of these infestors while he still can. Now the infestors trying to re-burrow, but the scan going down. And over here we see Zerglings and Banelings flooding into the 3rd base. Now the Marines are pushing up and engaging all of those infestors, but at the meantime, the 3rd base for T just gets annihilated by the Zergling Baneling. The Banelings finally pulling back a little bit, and over here you see that finally these units are being cleaned up by infestors. Though a lot of infestors were lost, there were 15 on the field, 7 of them died. However, we do have 6 more in production with 50 more lings on the way. And I'd say that was about an even trade. T really could have afforded to not lose that base. And there's a lone siege tank out here. A little bit of a misstep by T. A bad rally point, and it's going to just get slaughtered. AciesSpawn now maxed out at about 196 supply. T down to 121. 1 battlecruiser on the way, 1 already completed. And that's just not going to be what he needs. AciesSpawn, it is true, does not have anything that can shoot up right now. He can spawn infested Terrans to shoot up. But with only 1 or 2 battlecruisers, that is not the firepower you need to be able to take out so many Zergling Banelings. That is 6 pages. There is a page 6 of these units. AciesSpawn now on his 5th base right there. Could take a 6th right here if he so desired. That is a lot of Zerglings. That almost seems like that is 6 pages of Zerglings alone, not including the rest of the units in this army. Oh my goodness, this is even making my computer lag. There are 162 Zerglings on the field right now. That is a lot, and only 2 battlecruisers for T. I don't think that is going to be the firepower he needs to stop this. Now it looks like there was an attempt to drop. T a little bit indecisive now, finally taking his 3rd over here, dropping these units off, deciding not to try to do any damage with those. AciesSpawn with a rather terrifying army. The scan does go down. T knows exactly what is here. It is 161 supplied to 199. And really, AciesSpawn is just giving T time to try to come back in this game. A 3rd battlecruiser is on the way. And I don't think AciesSpawn knows about these yet. He has not begun making corruptors or anything to counter that with. Now we do have Zerg ground carapace and melee attacks level 3 on the way. Meanwhile, T is only at 1-1 for his ground army. That is not the kind of upgrades you need against a maxed out Zerg. And it looks like there is going to be a little bit of engagement here. about half of the army was stemmed. A little bit of a bad fungal there. Now another fungal growth going down on the army. A lot of these Marines just being cleaned up instantly once again. And these battlecruisers are just left standing overhead all alone. And there's the GG from T. Battlecruisers, what an interesting option for TvZ. Now, I know carrier play is a little bit popular in PvZ. It's not very commonly utilized. I would actually say the battlecruiser and the carrier are some of the most worthless units in the game, and Blizzard seems to agree, as they are taking the carrier out and giving the battlecruiser quite the buff in that sprint ability that they will be getting in Heart of the Swarm. T just got outclassed that game, out-macroed, I believe. That was a very interesting build early on, dropping 4 command centers, and really, it gave him a very nice early economic boost. But I feel that with all those command centers, he really should have tried expanding more quickly. Trying to take a sneaky third, a quick third somewhere like he did later on. And in the end, it just wasn't enough. AciesSpawn just overwhelmed him with sheer Zergling numbers. I don't know what could have been used against that. Maybe a lot of Hellions, but other than that, that was an intense amount of Zerglings.